Welcome to the show, guys. I'm your host, DJ Reminisce, and this is a show where I talk about things that are important to me. Hopefully you guys will like the same things too. Let's get right into it right off the bat, man. A Hull shop owner who was confronted by a drug user waving a 7-inch knife calmly told him he'd have to wait as she was having a cup of tea. So there's some auntie in a shop in Hull in the UK. So Stuart Gleason hung around Karmjit Sangha's news agent for several minutes before entering and demanding cash. But Mrs. Sangha, 49, refused. She said, "I was just sitting there having my cup of tea when he came in holding his 7-inch knife. He told me to give him all the money, but I was relaxed. I told him I was, having my cup of tea." This is an awesome story, man. He demanded I put it down, give him the money, and picked up the craft knife and waved it at him. I wouldn't have hurt him, but it was enough to scare him. He started shaking, then he ran off. The jury had just taken a few hours to find Gleason guilty of attempted robbery and possession of a knife following a trial last week. He was jailed, told for 5 years on Friday at Hull Court. Wow, man. The store is actually called Sangha News and Booze. What an amazing woman, man. Hats off to you. You know what? I'm the same way, too. When I'm having my cup of cha, I don't want to be disturbed, man. Like, I gotta have my cha. I actually have it with me right now everywhere I go. But when I'm having my jaw, fam, I'm telling you, it's got to be on my terms. I drink it the way I want, slowly but surely. So I totally understand where Mrs. Sangha is coming from. So anyone coming to the shop to disturb her, and now you're taking away time from her that she could be sipping on her jaw. So I totally get it, man. Again, hats off to Miss Sangha for holding her ground and, not being scared of this person waving a knife around and, attempting to rob her. All right, guys, here's something interesting. Canadian Mint employee, the Canadian Mint is where they hold all the money, okay, for Canada. A Canadian Mint employee accused of smuggling $180,000 worth of gold out in his rectum. Now, this is kind of a disgusting story. So, an employee of the Royal Canadian Mint allegedly smuggled about $180,000 in gold from the fortress-like facility, possibly evading multiple levels of detection with a time-honored prison trick, hiding the precious metal up his bum. Okay, the case against Leston Lawrence, 35 of Bearhaven, concluded in an Ottawa courtroom Tuesday. Justice Peter Doody reserved decision until November 9th on a number of smuggling for cash charges, including theft, laundering the proceeds of crime, possession of stolen property, and breach of trust. The UCK factor aside, the case was also illuminating a look at security measures inside the Mint, the building on Sussex Drive that produces hundreds of millions of gold coins annually for the Federal Crown Corporation. This is pretty gross, man. Like, check this out. So this guy ultimately stole 180,000 K worth of gold by sticking gold up his ass. You understand what I'm saying? Like, wow, man. First of all, can you see the pictures in your mind? Just absolutely disgusting. Like, where the hell would you think about that? You know what I mean? Now, it doesn't say how big these chunks of gold are, but it says typically the pucks weighed about 210 grams, 74 ounces, for which he was given checks in that $16 range depending on fluctuating gold prices, court heard. He then deposited the checks at Royal Bank in the small mall. So, seems okay sized, I guess, to stick it up someone's ass. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would never do it. If anyone's ever stuck gold, up your ass, let me know how it feels like. You know what I mean? But this is a really, really disturbing story in the sense of how gross it is. And it's kind of, put a light the security measures that they have at this facility. So I wonder what's going to come out of this. But here, investigators also found a container of Vaseline in his locker, and the trial was presented with the prospect that puck could be concealed in an anal cavity and not be detected by the wand. Wow. That's pretty crazy, man. So there you guys have it. A man stole gold by sticking it up his ass. Who would have known, fam? Another article that I found really interesting is we are a generation that doesn't want relationships. Now, I'm just going to go through some of this. It says, we want a second coffee cup in our Instagrams of lazy Saturday mornings, another pair of shoes in our artsy pictures of our feet. We want a Facebook official relationship everyone can like and comment on. We talk and we text, we Snapchat and we sext. We hang out and we happy hour. We go to coffee and grab a beer. Anything to avoid an actual date. We private message to meet up. We small talk for an hour, only to return home, and small talk via text. We forgo any chance of achieving real connection by mutually playing games with no winner, competing for most attached, biggest apathetic attitude, and best at being emotionally unavailable. And what we end up actually winning is most likely to be alone. We want a placeholder, not a person. We want a warm body, not a partner. We want someone to sit on the couch next to us as we aimlessly scroll through another newsfeed or open another app to distract us from our lives. Now, this is a really interesting article, man. And I'm telling you, it's just the age of what we, it's that age and generation where we live in. It's like, you talk to when I talk to my cousins and friends, no one wants to talk on the phone anymore. No one wants to meet up. Every conversation is via text or via WhatsApp. And that's actually pretty disturbing because that emotional connection that you have with someone is dying day by day. And so many poor assumptions are met through these, mediums of text. Like, you have no idea when you text someone what you actually mean, right? In terms of the person being on the receiving end. So if I receive a text from you and it says, fuck you, right? I can interpret it in many different ways, but you may have sent it in a certain way and I'm receiving it in a different way. Do you understand what I'm saying? But when you're face to face someone and you actually have the conversation, you feel the emotion and you know exactly what that person is trying to say. There's no tone or text in a text-based relationship. And I find that that's dying. Like, we're becoming zombies, man. Like, the zombie apocalypse is upon us because of the fact that we're not having these emotional connections anymore. I mean, those are just my 2 cents, but I think it's important that, we go out and meet people, we talk to people, and we have that emotional connection. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, otherwise the world's just going to be a very, very cold place. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Please let me know in the comments below what you think about the show. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel to always stay up to date with latest Christian information. Always remember, never forget your roots, stay close to your culture. I'm your boy DJ Reminisce. Peace out.